Welcome back to the Walter Bosley channel and another episode of Killafornia. Todd, how we doing? And looks like we have our guest William Ramsey. Hey, William.
Hey, Walter, how are you? Thanks for having me
Good, good.
back. Good to be with you, Todd, as well.
Yes, glad. I'm glad you both are here. This is going to be an amazing show. Bosley verse, how we doing? I am very much looking forward to this show tonight, and I'm from this guest, William Ramsey, the myth, the man, the legend, William Ramsey himself. Let's dive right in. William, I noticed that you've been doing a lot of shows on the Epstein files. You've been doing a lot of deep dives. To you, have you found anything that really stands out that isn't being covered by any other researcher or uh, news outlet?
I think the first thing is this interview that he did with Bannon, who's supposed to be this right-wing figure. But
Hmm.
there was something that happened before. I believe that Epstein was killed in that jail and that
Yeah,
he was put in that jail to be killed. He was actually within a jail, believe it or not.
yeah,
The special housing unit is a spot within the jail. But right before that in 2019, he was trying to rehab his image. And it shows his kind of like resilience. He was an evil person, but
hmm,
he was always trying to come back and reshape himself. That was his relationship with Bannon at that time. But he had a 2 hour interview that came out. And in that interview, he says something. They're talking about Lucifer, and I can give you guys the video. Bannon asks him, "Are you the devil?" He says, "No, but I have a good mirror." And he kind of means it kind of like as a clever aside.
hmm.
But I think in my interpretation of saying it's a good mirror, that he knows the occult and he
Right.
knows how to communicate with entities through scrying. I mean, I really do
Interesting.
believe that. I don't think that came out of, and Bannon doesn't even get it. He doesn't even get the reference to him if the logic doesn't follow, right?
That see, that's so interesting. So that would imply that Bannon isn't really
He's
he's
not, he's, yeah,
he's
he's not
not who
like
he
this.
says he is.
Yeah. He's not like a Christian
Right.
leader or whatever. Like he presents himself as that. And I think it's in conformance with his real worldview where Christianity is kind of like a means to an end.
I
It's not
see.
like he's an actual believer, like he really believes it and wants to follow it. He
Right.
just uses it for uh his own purposes. So I believe that that's a cover for him. Because in his
Interesting.
conversations with Epstein, they're talking about Beelzebub and all this stuff over and
Huh.
over again, you know.
Well,
So
let me ask you this. In his art, is there any references to the occult or Lucifer or Beelzebub in the art, his art collection?
it's a great question. There's this kind of consistent theme of sacrilege. Like he's not Christian. He
Yeah.
is Jewish. And he has crosses in his house and he has it in the Hell Ranch as well. He
Mhm.
also has in one of his drawing rooms in the mansion, he has a large picture of Bacchus. And it does have kind of an occult meaning to it. If you look at Bacchus and the god in both ancient Greek,
Yeah.
Bacchus is kind of like this god of wine, but also of like terrors and rage and weird things like that. So that's just one aspect of him. I don't know if I can get this. Let me see if I can share the
So
sound. So,
Bacchus in Greek mythology is a raging alcoholic.
right. So you see that. If you can you guys see this screen share that I have?
Yeah.
He's making what's known as a mudra, and it's like a hand gesture. You see it like as a temple like this. He's doing that.
I,
This is the
I wait, I can't see the hand gesture. I can see his face.
it's just his thumbs right there at the very bottom. Maybe
Oh,
if I
I got you.
play it.
Yeah, yeah.
Let
Gotcha.
me see if I can get it to play. That's not it. Oh shoot, where is this? Um, but he's doing some kind of weird. He's doing some kind of weird hand gesture. Why isn't this playing? That's because it's not a video. He's making this weird hand gesture, but I want you guys to listen to this because
Okay.
it is really something else. I'm interested in to see what your view of this is. Yeah, let me see if I can find this video. But they have this really interesting long 2 hour conversation that it ends with them referencing, "Are you Lucifer?" I mean, it's really something else. Let me see. I didn't have it at the ready, but that's one thing. Bacchus. There's also this sacrilege, like I said. There's also his art is he's interested in deviant art. So he's like supporting these artists, like a guy by the name of Andres Serrano. If you remember this big kind of like kerfluffle over Piss Christ, do you remember that?
No, I don't.
Okay, that art. Epstein is a close personal friend of this artist who depicts like religious objects in bodily
Was that
fluids and stuff.
Robert Mapplethorpe?
No, but it's very close and similar to Robert Mapplethorpe, yeah, but not Mapplethorpe. But these other ones that are in there, Damien Hirst, some of these other characters are in the Epstein files, and he's friends with them.
Yeah.
Okay, let me see. This is the long 2-hour one, but if I can get here to the end, let's see if I can get this to play.
Before we get into the deep stuff, let's give some.
Can you hear the audio for that?
Yeah.
No, the devil scares me.
Satan is the he is at the number 1 or 2 archangel, and the reason he goes to hell and leads the rebellion is because he can't be the top guy. And his thing is, I'd rather reign in hell than serve in heaven.
I saw that in a movie once called American Dharma. I don't remember who said it.
That's like an inside joke for him because American Dharma is about Bannon.
I see.
So he's making this funny reference, but listen to this. Watch this.
We have to go.
Okay, good. Okay, that was good.
And so then he ends it, but here's the reference to the mirror.
These questions are questions where good people on both sides, like your Charlottesville, could differ. I don't know the answers.
So tell us the two. Give us the two answers. What the one answer why it shouldn't be, and then the one answer. Derek Bach says, "I'll essentially take cash from anybody because I got so many projects, so many good guys, and this is the way I'll do it. So I'm indifferent to where the cash comes from. Money's money, and if I got good guys, I'm the fiduciary. Says these are good people and this is good research. Okay, I'll take the cash from any source, including you." What's the other argument?
Let me give you that. I know in my case,
is your money dirty money?
If you live,
I just asked a question. Is your money dirty money?
No, it's not.
He's totally lying right there. His money is completely dirty.
Yeah.
He somehow won the freaking lotto of New Mexico while he was in jail in 2007 for $80 million.
Really?
Yeah. So we don't know the totality of where like all his money's coming, the inflows and outflows. He had a very Byzantine financial structure that some people are seeing parts of it, like some of the researchers. There's great researchers looking into Epstein.
Yeah.
He's so important, guys. I cannot overstate that.
Yeah.
Listen to this, though.
So, in fact,
why is it not dirty money?
Because I earned it.
But you earned it.
I earned it legally.
We went back to this before. You earned it. You earned it advising the worst people in the world, right? That do enormous bad things, and just to make more money.
This is a very interesting tell. He doesn't even deny it. He is advising the worst people in the world. Do you hear like Bannon say that to him? And he just goes right. He doesn't like I beg your pardon or anything.
Right. So instead of asking me the question, should you take the money? Because I think it's a legitimate question.
You think it's a legitimate question?
Yes, no question. Because I think ethics is always a complicated subject, but I can tell you that with the money I gave to help try to eradicate polio.
He's also a philanthropath like Bill Gates, one of his close friends.
I see.
Pakistan and India. Instead of asking me whether that money should be given to these children for vaccines, I think you might want to ask their mothers who received the vaccine, who know their child now won't get polio, and ask them if Epstein should have helped these people. You're a mathematician. If we walked into that clinic where they're giving that money out to these people that are in the most dire straits of poverty and sickness, and told them that the money was coming from class 3 sexual predator? Tier 1.
What's tier one's the highest and worst?
No, I'm
The lowest?
I'm the lowest.
You're the lowest. Okay, tier one, you're the lowest. But a criminal.
Yes.
That the money came from them. What percentage of people do you estimate? I understand you don't like probabilities. Do you estimate would say, I don't care, I want the money for my children?
I would say everyone said, I want the money for my children.
Did they know where the money came from?
I think if you told them,
if
I told them the devil,
100%.
the devil
himself.
The devil himself said, I'm going to exchange some dollars for your child's life.
Do you think you're the devil himself?
No, but I do have a good mirror.
Do you see what he says there?
Yeah.
Alita, do you think you're the devil himself? No, but I have a good mirror.
Oh.
Listen to that again. It's so strange. What's you guys' take on that? Listen
I think if you told them,
if
I told them the devil,
100%.
the devil
himself.
The devil himself said, I'm going to exchange some dollars for your child's life.
Do you think you're the devil himself?
No, but I do have a good mirror.
It's a serious question.
Sorry.
Do you think you're the devil himself?
I don't know. Why would you say that?
Because you have all the attributes. You're incredibly smart. You remember, the devil is
Was
somebody
the devil
knows
smart?
The devil's brilliant. You read Milton's Paradise Lost.
No, the devil scares me.
Satan is at the number 1 or 2 archangel, and the reason he goes to hell and leads the rebellion is because he can't be the top guy. And his thing is, I'd rather reign in hell than serve in heaven.
I saw that in a movie once called American Dharma. I don't remember who said it. Okay, we have to go.
See, he's also the boss here. It's interesting about Epstein is that he's shutting it down, like we're done.
Right.
But it's right at the end. This is the literal end. He changes into black too. But right at the end, he's asking him about, are you the devil? And he says, no, but I have a good mirror. What's you guys' take on that?
Walter, do you want to go first?
It could be it could be that he's saying he's able to look in the mirror and see his own faults, blah, blah, blah. It could be that he's making some quip at Bannon, maybe you should look in the mirror kind of thing. I have one that I look in. There's a thin chance that it could be some interesting vague reference to some type of magical device that is reflective. I don't find any one of those overtly the answer, but it's curiously vague. I'll put it that way for sure.
What do you think, Todd?
Well, I'm gonna have to think on it because that's such a weird thing to say. No, but I have a good mirror.
He has a lot of mirrors in his properties too, which is weird.
That's a mirror that could be a sign of vanity. But it's also about self-reflection.
So he's not the devil, but I have a good mirror so I can see myself as the devil, maybe?
Perhaps. I don't know. Huh.
Have you ever seen the picture of Trump? Trump's son sent out a picture of his dad looking into the mirror, and it's a goat. You seen that one?
No, I haven't.
I have not seen that one, but was that out before this interview?
Yes. This is from
there we go.
January 2025.
I find it interesting that Bannon's doing the interviewing here, and he says Epstein advised really bad people, and we know that Epstein and Bannon's one-time boss, Trump, was one of those people that Epstein,
Right.
So what was Bannon? Did Bannon realize what he was saying there in this interview, that was just as much a reflection on Trump as it was any of the other people that he was referring to Epstein advising?
Right. It could be. These guys are all networked. There another. If you asked about discoveries, Todd, like there's emails in there. There's one between Summers and Epstein, and Epstein's like, yeah, I was hanging out at Mar-a-Lago with the Trump sons. Had a blast. Had fun. From 2018.
Yeah, really?
Yeah, so this whole thing about 2005 and we got in an argument over it's total fiction.
Oh,
He's,
wow.
yeah, there I'll bring that one up, the Trump
So
brother.
this
But
one here, this it could be like a satanic thing, but it could be a vanity thing too. Greatest of all time, GOAT.
from a Christian perspective, I would say no Christian would ever want to have a reflection of himself as a goat.
Yeah, that's
And
true.
he's just not, because even in the Bible, there's so many themes of the sheep and the goats
Yeah,
and how they'll be separated, and all Christians want to be associated with the sheep, the flock of Christ. So
yeah,
this is, to me, these double things too are also kind of like how things get occulted, right? So the
right.
public's like, oh, a cute little goat, and their insiders like, Trump is freaking a goat, man. And he actually kind of has a goat history. Like he has sex with all, outside of his marriage and all that stuff.
Right.
But you can see that on the bottom there. I'll highlight it, January 25th, 2025.
Interesting.
And it's
So,
clearly him, right? Because it's a suit with the red tie.
right, right. Now, you were saying which network is still going on?
Yeah, I think the Epstein network is still intact. I think that
Really?
I think the blackmail is still there. I think Trump has it all now. And his Kushner, who was involved in trying to start World War III, was very
Yeah.
involved in the attack on Iran, which is a huge.
Epstein himself probably inherited his network. So these
Oh,
networks
good
go
point.
on, they just get a new guy to run them.
Good point. It's almost like a node on a decentralized system. I don't think there's a centralized character. I think that he's a blackmailer, but he's probably keeping stuff too and giving stuff out and keeping his intel handlers happy. And it's a
Right.
really sub rosa underground game. But all these guys are together. Like Kushner's very close to Epstein.
Yeah.
He's at gatherings. There was one interesting document that I found. If you remember the film Les Miserables, I think it came
Right.
out in 2013. First rate actors, right? Big
Mhm.
production. The guy who played
Hugh Jackman.
Wolverine.
Yeah.
Thank you. And they when they roll these out, it's like a gala. Like all week, we're going to do promotions. We're going to have the big rollout on Monday. But for that Les Miserables, on this Sunday night, there was a privacy only like rollout for the film, and they only invited 100 people, and every big wig on earth there is there, and there's Jeff Epstein. So he's
Really.
there with all those first-rate actors and actresses, and he's on the guest list of this like definitely exclusive like rollout during the rollout of this huge film. I don't know how much they spent on it.
Now, from what I understand, listening to some of the stuff from like conspiracy files and all that. Now, was Epstein hanging out with Woody Allen a lot?
All the time. They're very close friends. They're pictured together all the time.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And
That's
they're
nuts.
talking to each other like in pedophile terms, like, oh, we're just a group of pedophiles, and it's him and Woody. Like he's literally laughing about them both being pedophiles.
Oh my God.
Yeah, no, it's in there. It's not a joke. Let me see if I can find this Les Miserables reference, because it's really interesting. The guest list is really off the charts. It's like
Yeah.
every famous person on earth is there. It's just something else. Um, but yeah, so he's close. There's pictures of him with Wood. It was a 2012 screening, but there were pictures of him, just tons of pictures of him with Woody Allen, like all the time.
How old is Woody Allen?
It's a good question. I don't know
He has
off
to
the
be
top.
like in his 90s at this point.
Yeah, I don't know.
Ugh.
Let's see. I do have this somewhere. Yeah, so there's just a lot of references and strange things, and
Mhm.
he's really well connected. This interview that he does is also important because he divulges that he is close on a talking basis with David Rockefeller, like really one of the core members of like the New World Order squad, who was at
Really?
yeah, like in 2001, 9/11, 2001, he's right there in Manhattan watching all the events go down.
Mhm.
But he's like, oh, David Rockefeller told me this. And he also admits to something very interesting in this, that he explains that the oligarchs are the real power. So he said the politicians are just fronts for people with money. So he's letting Bannon know that they're the real power, people like him who
Right.
actually finance the politicians. And so it's a really interesting admission he makes early in the.
Right. Wasn't there a study done a while back that shows that America is not a democratic republic, it's in fact an oligarchy?
Yeah, I think that is true.
Yeah. That's really interesting. Now, what other sort of occult stuff was Epstein getting into?
Well, there is, like we were talking in the pre-show, there are these babies missing from young
Right.
girls. There's multiple stories from victims. A lot of victims are coming out and they're
Yeah.
explaining their different things and they're talking about stuff. But he he was clearly doing something at that hell ranch in New Mexico involving experimentation. And these girls would wake up on operating tables and things like that. So it was really bad. And there's like this one girl who came out recently. Her name is Rena O, and she
Yeah.
was close to Giuffre. Well, she knew Giuffre. I wouldn't say she was close,
Yeah.
but she said some really crazy stuff recently. Let me see if I can find this. This is a really interesting one. Let's see if this is the one. She's made some statements on some of these shows that are really something else.
Yeah.
But and he was interested in this sacred art for some reason, but she said that his abuse was such that she thought he was literally trying to soul crack some of these people. Like, listen to this.
What do you do? Like, what's that? I brought my portfolio with me. So he pointed at it and said, what did you bring? And I said, I'm an artist. He's like, oh, you're an artist. He's like, and what is that? And I was like, I brought, pictures of my artwork. It's a portfolio. He's like, can I see? So then I handed it to him and he spent a decent amount of time looking through every single page in this portfolio. And he particularly liked the sculptures. Now, like going back to the type of training I received as a sculptor, I studied sculpture in a cathedral in New York City. And I have a tendency to absorb the environment because I was studying sculpture at the Cathedral of St. John the Divine. My work was very biblical and very holy at the time. And he was very much drawn to those sculptures, and more specifically, the one of the mother and child and all these angelic figures celebrating the birth of a son, to the mother. It's not the Virgin Mary because I hate using ideology. I just call it adoration of the mother and child. But he particularly liked that piece. And there's a reason why later on he asked me to have his baby.
Really? It seems like there is.
So she's another one that he keeps asking these people to have their baby, but this is some of the stuff, these terms are, she was very intimately, it's not the right word. She was trafficked, I think, in a very horrible way. Like, I don't think she likes to talk about it, but yeah, but listen to this. You want to talk about the occult and stuff like that, Todd? Listen to this.
Gave me books to read, and he immediately began brainwashing me, and he knew with me the whole massage thing, give me a massage for $200 thing, would not have worked. I would have walked out of there. He used a different method to manipulate me. He knew that wouldn't have worked on me, so he used art, but I still ended up in that room. And things still happened to me against my will in that room. And there were a lot of other people who I just at this point call them co-conspirators who abused me along with him. He wasn't the only one in that room. A lot of strangers would just show up. I don't want to go into the details because I'll disassociate.
These are very important terms. I'm not sure she's even aware that she's a victim of trauma-based mind control.
Right.
This dissociation is what they try to do.
Yeah.
They try to make you dissociate. I mean, it's not funny, but listen to
Right.
what she says here. This whole art, she did 40 minutes with TMZ, but this is mind blowing.
And I want to stay in the present, so I don't like talking about the details. By giving me books to read, he indoctrined his ideology, and his ideology was a polygamous empire that he told me he was planning on building. Like it's, in the beginning, I read the books. I thought it was just an idea. I was studying history books. He kept talking about it, and most of our conversations revolved around this harem. And I know, like in other countries, they call it the harem, but here in America, he called it harem. That's why I pronounce it that way. He told me I was going to be a favorite, and I was going to be part of Babylon. So now referring back to the religious artwork that I made.
Just to interject, like we talked about the sheep and the goats.
Right.
In the Bible, there's the juxtaposition of Jerusalem and Babylon.
Right.
So Jerusalem is always the holy city. In Babylon, even going up into like Bob Marley, Babylon is always associated with like witchcraft, human sac, like the worst of the worst.
Right.
So
Crowley,
and almost every like black magic text, their authenticity is if they can go all the way back to Babylon, so past Egypt, right? So they're always trying to, like, the Babylonian. Somebody mentioned the Babylonian Talmud, which is an interesting thing because, like, that's just rabbis making stuff up. This is
right.
But, here's listen to her.
And him telling me I was going to be a part of Babylon. At that age, I had no idea that Babylon is the most grotesque, disgusting, unholy place that is mentioned in scripture in the Bible, in the Old Testament and the New Testament. I sincerely believe that this is what Jeffrey Epstein was truly doing here on this planet. He was building or rebuilding Babylon. He was bringing back hell on earth. Because if you read the Bible, the children of God, they're looking to build heaven on earth, a peaceful place. And he was looking to build the opposite of that. And he told me I was going to be a part of it. And then as he handed me the books from that day.
She never divulges what books they were. I'm really curious to see what she read.
I'm wondering myself.
Yeah. I've done other shows where he had books on Tantra. So like literal sex magic from Crowleyites. I forgot the guy's name.
Watch him have like Peter Levinda's book on Tantra.
Well, yeah, that would be something else. He had somebody close to somebody who knew Crowley's it was John Mumford, and the other guy's name is but he had this like radiant ecstasy thing.
Right.
These guys were all part of this there.
So Epstein's into this whole polygamy thing. Is he trying to do kind of what Musk is doing? Essentially, he's like impregnating all these women and basically like raising an army of little Musk.
What if that's happening? What if there are little Epsteins around?
Yeah.
He's doing it. This is consistent with other stuff. He wanted Giuffre to have a baby.
Right.
I don't know if it's his baby or if there's artificial in vitro insemination.
Well, I mean, what is his philosophy on cloning? That's my question.
Right.
Because what is the process in which someone is cloned? Do you need a woman like this young lady here to go through the 9 months and have the baby? But it literally grows up to be Epstein. It's a clone of Epstein.
Yeah, it's like Boys from Brazil or something like that.
Basically, yeah.
I don't know, but it is interesting that you say Musk, because Musk, I don't think he's performing the act of lovemaking to have children. They're all in vitro. All of his offspring are in vitro. So maybe Epstein was doing something like this. This woman is really interesting. She's such an important component. Literally firsthand that he was bringing back hell, which makes it more plausible that his mirror reference is more occulted than maybe at first glance.
See, that's interesting because do you remember the movie did The Devil's Advocate?
Sure.
There's that that party, that soiree that's in the movie. That's in Trump Tower.
Oh wow, yeah, I remember somebody saying that.
Yeah.
I'll have to rewatch that. Watch this.
Going forward, he constantly talked about me having this baby with the Sultan. And he was the Sultan, obviously, in this Babylon world that he built for himself.
Just hearing, your firsthand accounts.
Yeah, this is the book that they found in his records that he purchased, among other purchases like Lolita, the annotated version, like he was in. This guy, Christopher S. Hyatt, is a big wig in the occult. And he's passed away. The intro was by Robert Anton Wilson, another Crowley lover, and James Wasserman.
Now, Robert Anton Wilson, he was connected to the Discordians.
Yeah, he was one of the top members of the Discordians and also wrote the Illuminati trilogy.
Interesting.
In 2007, Jeffrey Epstein purchased Christopher S. Hyatt's Secrets of Western Tantra, The Sexuality of the Middle Path. The book was dedicated to his teacher and friend Israel Regardie, who is Crowley's literal receptionist or his acolyte or the Kabbalist who's called Aleister Crowley's apprentice. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. Hyatt himself was the co-founder of the Thelemic Order of the Golden Dawn. So
fascinating.
Regardie's huge. I mean, you can read about all this stuff in Children of the Beast. One of the other interesting things that ties Epstein to the occult is his support for this guy named Joe Ito, who was working at one of the MIT labs.
Yeah.
And Joe Ito was close friends with Genesis P. Orridge.
Process Church.
Yeah, Process Crowley.
Yeah.
Friends with Peter Christopherson. Just crazy stuff. So it's a smaller world than we might think.
Now, do you think, considering where they found that mass grave in New Mexico, an hour away by car from Zorro Ranch, that there's any connection between the victims of the bone collector and Epstein? Is that a possibility?
I don't know. Is the bone collector that guy who was in Truth or Consequences? Is that the guy?
No, that's oh Christ, I forgot his name.
That's the guy who had the toy box killer, right?
David Ray Parker.
David Ray Parker, yeah.
Who's
the bone collector? I don't know. Recollect my memory or refresh my memory.
That was a mass grave that was found around 2009 with all these young ladies that were prostitutes, and police think that it was, I guess, a pimp that did this, and David Parker Ray. That's the toy box killer.
Right. And that's about an hour south of the Hell Ranch, so an hour's drive. Yeah. It's right in the center of New Mexico is where he
but it's quite possible that these ladies, those bodies that they found, the prostitutes, maybe have done business with Epstein in the past.
I wouldn't be surprised. People were coming in and out of that ranch all the time. There's all kinds of suspicious things. The thing that restarted the New Mexico inquiry that started from the state house set aside $2 million to reinvestigate, but what set them off were all of these files that were never divulged to the public until recently, until 6 months ago at the original drops, that said that there were people died there and there were 2 bodies buried out in the desert.
The incinerator thing is interesting.
Yeah, it really is. I mean, why is it there? But it's also from a guy who's like, I've been working this for 15 years. There's weird stuff going on here.
Yeah.
We're back into the show, right?
I think so, yeah.
Okay.
Here's the document. I'll show it to you right now. So this is the intake. So Epstein gets arrested on the 6th of July, and this comes into the Bureau on the 19th of 2019.
Right.
And so this guy, somebody's like, I got this following information. He lives in the neighborhood of the property. So in Stanley, New Mexico is where it is. It's in the middle of nowhere, dude. It's not close to it's not close to Santa Fe or Albuquerque. Santa Fe County, seen a lot of high profile people seen frequenting the property. Heard rumors that the property was used for recruited girls to visit with Epstein, but he has no factual evidence to support this claim. He patrolled this area for 15 years before he retired. Um, the barn is suspicious as there is a garage door that appears to be a sally port, which is kind of a sophisticated intro outro kind of fence. And there is a
Yeah.
chimney. Blank is concerned that the property could potentially have an incinerator concealed within the barn.
Huh. See, that's kind of like the 4-Pi movement with the portable crematorium.
Yeah.
And they've seen smoke coming out of that chimney.
I don't know. But there's an interesting, I mean, here's another one for your purview. I'm curious to what you guys think about this one. But let's see. It's this is one of the interesting things that's associated with that ranch is this there's an email where they're talking about all the farm animals and they're like, oh yeah, just get rid of them, kill them all. And they're like, well, why is he killing off these farm animals? What the heck is going on there?
What? It wasn't
Uh,
just one kind of animal.
Let me find it. It's in here.
It wasn't like cattle or anything, was it?
Well, I'll read it to you. You can read it too. I mean, let me
Okay.
just find it. It's this is this is the EFTA number is 00562967. It's dated 2011 from Sarah Kellen, who testified in Congress recently, is my understanding. But she's back on the radar. I don't know. Do you feel like reading that, Walter? I can. This is from Sarah Kellen, LSJ is Little St. James. So I think that's the thing from to Epstein.
Yeah.
And it's wanted to make sure you guys knew Jeffrey Epstein told Wendy to get rid of all the show and unquote animals on the ranch. The miniature horses, pigs, turkey, goats, Diablo, etc. Wendy said she will try and sell what she can. I don't think JE much cares what happens to them, as he said to just quote, kill, unquote them. I think the only thing we're keeping is the chickens for the eggs and the horses, which someone can ride.
Huh.
Does that
Oh.
seem suspicious to you? Why did she put quote and kill in quotes, show and kill in quotes?
Yeah. It doesn't seem like there's an outbreak of anything. Like if it were cattle or something like that, I can understand if your herd got like foot and mouth or something, you'd have to kill them. But yeah, that doesn't really make much sense to me.
They obviously had some animal named Devil, but
Yeah.
Could be a
so
horse, could be a dog. But interesting choice, right?
Right, right.
I've talked to other people on other shows. They think this is all code words. And the
Really?
chickens, yeah, the
Could
chickens
be.
is for the eggs, is what they're doing, is the women, they're harvesting their eggs, right? So the women are the
Oh.
chickens. And then the horses
Oh.
are just like some kind of farm animal that they can abuse. So
Isn't that like pedophile lingo too?
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Chicken for sale is like a known pedo code, like pizza.
Hmm.
Like I think it's an older term, but like that's why they call it chicken hawk.
Right. I remember like they were doing that in the movie Taxi Driver.
Right. They probably use that term in there.
Yeah.
But yeah, chicken is a known. So like this guy's speaking and that goes back to the Bannon thing. He's able to speak in two different tenses
Yeah.
or terms or something.
Well, I mean, that's kind of that kind of shows me that he doesn't know anything because he can get some serious money for some good horses.
Right.
Just to kill them that's nuts.
They could just have somebody like from a local stable who maybe want a horse or find
Yeah.
somebody who takes animals or zoo.
Yeah.
Just go, hey,
Good. Along with like goats and lamb.
right. So
I
why
mean-
why wouldn't there be some like person who like is a farmer who would want these? Like, why will not add more to your herd, right?
Right,
I don't know.
exactly. I mean, that's money.
Sure is.
Yeah.
Sure is. I mean, I think what does a goat sell for? $200 or something just on meat? I don't
Right.
know.
Just the meat. A goat, that'd probably be a little bit more than $200.
Right. What's a pound of goat? What's a pound of sheep or mutton or whatever cost you five,
Oh,
$10?
well, a sheep. Sheep would probably go for more than a goat.
Right. So they have value, but it's just kill them, get rid of them, don't care.
Yeah.
There's weird things that went on at Zorro Ranch, and
Yeah.
Courtney Love's dad, his name was Harrison, said like the abuses there were off the charts.
Really? Like, did he give you any examples?
Here, let me see. This is it right here. Did I show you? I don't think I've shown you guys this one, have I? No. You feel like reading that, Walter?
Want me
This
to
has
read it
been
aloud?
verified.
Yeah.
This has been
Yeah, let me
verified,
get my
actually.
glasses. Sorry, when you asked me earlier, I had my mic off, so you didn't hear me answer. Okay, this is from Hank Harrison.
It's
Right.
a something he wrote on Facebook back
Okay.
in the day.
It says, since my daughter was in Epstein's Black Book in 2003, and since she bragged to me about how she was procuring victims for him, I think I have a right to speak with some authority here. The crimes are 10 times worse and 100 times more numerous and more degenerate than you can imagine. The New Mexico Zorro Ranch is bad, but when victims were worn out, they would simply be taken to the desert and buried, or taken to sea, weighted down, and dumped overboard. The ones who survived are lucky to be alive. We are talking multiple slave murders here. Clinton did not procure slaves. Trump did. Google me before you reject this comment.
Fascinating.
Now, who is Hank Harrison again?
That is the guy who was the former manager of the Grateful Dead and Courtney Love's dad.
Right.
I
And he
didn't
wrote
even
the
know
book
that.
Love Kills, like about his daughter and Cobain.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like he's like literally said he, you know,
That's wild. And it doesn't really surprise me. Trump seems like the kind of guy who wants slaves.
Trump is all over the Epstein files. He's a card carrying core member of the Epstein network. There's no question about it.
Yeah.
I mean, they're all there in this administration: Bannon, Trump, Lutnick, and Kushner.
Right.
Like
Now
we have.
the really interesting thing to me is to go back to the cloning stuff for a second. Like I I mean, he presents himself as a Jew, Epstein does, but yet the whole concept of the soul, you can't grow a soul.
Right. It's
So
interesting.
for
It's
the
interesting.
cloning stuff,
Yeah.
how's that work?
I don't know, but it's interesting you say that because they talk about it in the Bannon Epstein conversation that I brought up. They literally are talking about a soul and stuff like that.
Interesting. Interesting.
One of the
Now,
other one of the
go
other
ahead.
things about Epstein is in his Jewishness. He was, he used the word goyim, right, which is a really negative term for non-Jews.
Right.
He was at certain points of his life he was kosher. There are references to him of eating jerky, but he also had this one thing of like the most ruthless passages from the scripture. It's from Epstein. Yeah, we don't know who he sent this to. I don't know why. You can see the EFTA number there, but
Mhm.
like this is kind of like this vengeful Old Testament stuff. Really ruthless. Ezekiel 9:6, slay utterly old and young, both maids and little children and women. Isaiah 13:6, their children shall be dashed to pieces before their eyes. Their houses shall be spoiled and their wives ravished. Deuteronomy, thou shalt surely smite the inhabitants of that city with the edge of the sword, destroying it utterly.
Yeah.
Leviticus, Exodus 32, put every man his sword by his side and go out from gate to gate through the camp. Slay every man his brother and every man his companion and every man his neighbor.
Why would he send this? I mean, is he sending a message to somebody?
Probably. I mean, look, uh, when you're he's clearly narcissistic. He's a
Yeah.
narcissist. And this is just my personal opinion, but anybody who follows a god like that is a narcissist because
Yeah.
that is a narcissistic demiurge. It's why Christ said to this God's priests, "You are the sons of your father, the devil."
Yeah. Yeah.
But that's real controversial when you bring that up. Oh, you're misinterpreting. Oh, you're not understanding. That's very clear.
Yeah.
And yeah, he's the kind of guy that if somebody was crossing him or threatening his thing, of course he's going to be threatening and vengeful and wrathful.
Hmm.
This is an interesting one for me. It's an insight into character, much like his art. And one of the other things about the Hell Ranch is that he put into Hell Ranch, he specifically requested a specific portrait, which is called the Massacre of the Innocents, and it's reflected in Scripture on Matthew 2, where Herod gets tricked by the three wise men and leaves, and he goes, "Well, where were they, and where is this Messiah supposed to be born?" And the wise men told him Bethlehem, so he sent out his soldiers to kill all of the children who were 2 years and younger.
Yeah.
And it's really one of the darkest elements of the New Testament.
Yeah.
And he wanted a depiction of it 9 by 9, so 9 feet by 9 feet, a very sizable picture. They actually bought it and he put it in the entryway to the Hell Ranch. So it's
My
about
God.
child murder. It's about child
Yeah.
murder.
Huh.
And I can read it too. I mean, I have Matthew 2, but it's super dark. I mean, let me see if I can bring that up.
Ooh. Da, 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 da.
Here it is. This is the one he wanted. This is literally from the file. This isn't from the internet. This is literally, you can see the EFT number on the file of this. I'm trying to size it for the screen. Sorry, here it is. This is the exact duplicate. It's by a guy who is a Dutch master,
Yeah.
but you'll see these babies like in all kinds of grotesque poses. Like the guy's holding up a baby upside down in the back. They're being snatched from their mothers, the children. Look at the
What
child on the very bottom there is upside down holding his throat.
when was this painted?
17th century.
And what is it called again?
The Massacre of the Internet of the Innocents. It's by
That's-
Cornelius Van Harlem is the artist's name.
Now, wasn't there was some tribute Gilles de Rais, right?
Gilles de Rais, Gilles de Retz, yeah.
Yeah,
Guy de Rais. Guy de
Gilles
Rais.
de Rais. Now, didn't he do something I know he was a serial killer, potentially who sold his soul to the devil. But of course that is like a controversial take right now. But he did something with the innocents too. This massacre of the innocents, right?
Yeah, he liked boys. So
Yeah,
they think he was he was the Marshal of France. So he's kind
yeah,
of like he was an elite of France. He was basically all of their joint chiefs together.
right,
And he also was a Satanist or occultist. And they
yeah,
think his victim counts were in the hundreds. It
right,
wasn't like
right,
10. And he had a network. So he had these like helpers getting him kids. He
yeah,
had Satanists and occultists around him. And then one of the things about Gilles de Rais that we know is that it was all very well recorded in two separate inquiries. There was a religious inquiry, so like the
right,
theologians of the time looked into it, and then there was a legal one, like a criminal. And they
right,
took him
right,
out and burned him at the stake.
right. Yeah, what was the controversy is they gave him a Christian burial. Is that it?
Something like that, yeah.
I gotcha.
So here's the actual email chain where he's talking about the massacre of the innocents. And Sarah Kay again, right? So she's talking about we just had her talking about the goats and stuff like that, right?
Yeah.
and the zoo animals in Diablo. And here she is talking about, okay, thank you. We'd like to proceed with the ordering of the 9 foot by 9 foot massacre of the innocents, 1591. So it must have been done in the 16th century. My apologies.
Yeah.
But they talk about it down here. 9 is an interesting number in and of itself. And this is the guy they bought it from, is a guy by the name of Ocean's Bridge was the company that bought it. Our clients have included museums, interior designers, galleries, and 10,000 individual art lovers. So it just shows like he was like, it goes back to Rena O. Rena O, which that girl we saw who said he was trying to bring back Babylon and hell. It just shows his interest in art. Like he saw himself as a man of style and taste, is a way to put it.
Interesting. Just like Symphony for the Devil, right?
Right, Sympathy for the Devil.
Mm-hmm. Now, is it possible, if he is Jewish, could he be an accelerationist? If he's trying to bring back hell on earth, it's
Yes.
just to quicken, the Messianic era?
Yes. I think that they were into the darkest stuff, man. Darkest stuff imaginable.
Yeah.
So I think that people are still putting things together. Like nobody's ever talked about that mirror, like you asked. Like, has anybody pointed out that Lucifer mirror comment? But when you see it in the larger stream of his interests,
Right.
you realize this guy's very dark. Like he's misportrayed as just a lone pedophile. He's networked. He's financing people. Bannon basically admits, like he tacitly admitted that he worked with money for the worst people in the world.
Right.
At the biggest private building in Manhattan on 971st Street, right off of Fifth Avenue, right? Right off. Literally, I think I mentioned this to you in one of our interviews, maybe somebody else, but literally, if you walked out of that mansion and walked across Central Park, you would literally be at the Dakota Hotel.
Yeah, right.
Like we're for people who don't know, that's where they filmed Rosemary's Baby.
Right.
And Mia Farrow's in there, and she accused Woody Allen, who's good friends with Epstein, of abusing their 7-year-old daughter, her 7-year-old daughter.
Interesting.
He could also have been part of some type of tradition, occulted tradition, older than anything in Judaism as well.
Correct. I agree with that.
He would have been. He could have been. Let people think that I'm a Jewish guy and this is all related to that, because it could be something much older, very dark.
I think that there's some ancient religion thing going on, and I think that was his fixation with sex. Like I'm seeing him not as much as a sex pest, but almost like sex magic. Because if he's reading that Hyde book about Tantra, then he's in like sex magic territory where you're like, this is part of the way to raise energy.
Right. Huh.
He and Ghislaine, was it just her that was into Atlantis research, or was he involved in that too?
It seems like he was involved. There was a lot of stuff on that island in that old kind of religion. There are pictures of the skulls. Have you seen the skull picture with the African totem?
No, I haven't.
Okay, because I think that that's really important, is because somebody took this picture, and in the occult, the crystal skulls are important. Like it's an important item, like a rabbit's foot or something,
Oh, crystal skulls.
Yeah.
Okay.
So this was taken inside the Little St. James Temple. And there's a lot of tells here, because you have the 2 crystal skulls. You've got the African mask. I don't know usually these masks are like oftentimes representation of sub-Saharan gods, which could be synonymous with demons.
I have a couple of them that I brought home from when I was.
What do they represent to you? Or do they represent
one of them had human teeth. So who knows?
Guys,
But
I'll be
to
right
me-
back. I
Okay.
gotta
me,
go
they just-
use the restroom.
Okay.
To me, they just represented tribal art. I'm a traveler and, wanted to have artifacts of my travels. So it was something that was handcrafted. And that's what it meant to me. And then a little dangerously, I guess you'd say, I would research these things after acquiring them.
Hmm.
So, they can be pretty eerie. Tell me about those particular crystal skulls. Is there anything known about them?
Not those particularly, but they represent like powerful metaphysical tools. They
Yeah.
act as energy amplifiers, psychic transmitters, and repositories of ancient
Yeah,
consciousness.
in my Ambrose Bierce book, the third book in my Secret Mission series, Destination Carcosa, I talk about the possibility it was suspected that he might have been involved with the acquisition of the legendary crystal skull, the famous one, the Mitchell Hedges crystal skull. And it looks, for all the evidence that's out there, that most people don't hear this. Anna Hedges did not find that crystal skull by accidentally tripping on it. It was acquired from a guy who was a member of British intelligence years after that trip to Honduras, and it can be traced to um, in the Oberland, this region of Germany that's well known for their crystal masters.
Hmm.
And what's interesting is there is an implication that it was actually the Mitchell Hedges crystal skull was actually fashioned in Germany in the mid 19th century and then brought to Latin America and then possibly used in these very esoteric pursuits. So yes, absolutely, these crystal skulls can be used in this arcane esoteric way. But in the case of the Mitchell Hedges skull, it's not some ancient mysterious origin skull. It was very likely crafted in Germany, mid 19th century, but for the purpose of this hocus pokery, you might say.
Right. I mean, this is just becomes like crystal lore. There's supposed to be some prophecy that if all these lost skulls are brought together, and I think that
Right.
there was the crystal skull
Right.
was part of Indiana Jones movie, right? Wasn't
Yeah,
that the
they
fourth
did
one?
the fourth one was Indiana Jones and the
Kingdom of the Crystal Skull.
Kingdom of the Crystal
Yeah, there you
Skulls.
go.
But yeah, just because, and I stated in the book, just because we can pretty much prove that the Mitchell Hedges skull was not some mysterious ancient uh, artifact, it's still something that was very likely used for a very arcane, mystical, you could almost say magical purpose. And if you marry up Ghislaine and Epstein's fascination or knowledge or involvement with the search for Atlantis and possession of particular type crystal skulls, well, to me, that's no coincidence because in the lore of Atlantis, we have their use of crystals. I'm of an impression, a lot of people think, oh, Atlantis, this wonderful ancient place. Personally, I think Atlantis was a bad place. It was a bad, evil civilization. It had gone bad. And I think it was consciously destroyed by another rival civilization or certainly one more powerful.
Right.
I don't think Atlantis was a seat of goodness
Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
for what it's worth.
There's just other things about this crystal skulls that are, I think that it's promoting this view of the island as a magical mystery place, right?
Right.
So you're on this magical mystery tour.
Is it there like what's the house that has like all the masks? Like the temple house that's like blue and like
Yeah, that's the big temple, yeah.
Right. Isn't that a replica of the one that like or it's like a 1-for-1 replica from the one that's in the movie The Magus with Michael Caine?
Thank you.
Yes,
I don't
yes,
remember.
it's a replica of what's in the Magus.
Yeah, I
Oh, so
remember
the
that. It's a
temple is
good
a
movie.
replica of what's in the Magus? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah,
Oh, I have to see that movie then.
yeah. So like Michael Caine is this he's on this island and the Magus, I forgot who's the actor Walter who plays the Magus.
I do not recall.
He's like a master manipulator. He might as well be a cult leader essentially. It's a very good film though. I highly recommend it.
It's based on like a famous novel, right?
Right, it is.
Yeah,
It's
yeah, it's
1968.
mhm.
Anthony Quinn,
Anthony Quinn, that's it.
Candice Bergen, and Anna Karenina. The written screenplay was written by John Fowles based on his 1965 novel of the same game.
Yes.
Uh, he's on the Greek island of Fraxos. Probably has some meaning.
Yeah.
Well, the interesting Crowley parallel would be that Crowley had his little place on Corfu, which is where he may or may not have fathered Barbara Bush.
Right.
That's another
Right.
story.
The Abbey of Thelema, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there we have an island. I wonder where John is it Foles or Fowles, whatever. Yeah. You know, who knows what the back. I'm gonna have to read that, and I've never seen that film. So
Yeah, I haven't either.
thank you guys for
Yeah.
intriguing me about this because
Well, yeah,
I've heard
I
about it for
watched
years.
it like 3 or 4 months ago, but I pretty much have forgotten everything about it. So I'm gonna have to go back and rewatch it.
So the reason I mentioned the went into that thing about the skulls and its background in Atlantis is um, maybe this is the tradition, this dark tradition that Epstein and them followed. Maybe that's why Atlantis is kept such a secret by the powerful. If you go, William, I don't know if you're familiar with the whole series, the amazing series, Hot Zone series, it's called, by dark journalist Daniel List. He did it over the course of a few years in which he digs deep into this interesting, somewhat covert, certainly not talked about in detail, um, search for Atlantis over the last century. And we're talking, it involved the Department of the Navy, it involved T. Townsend Brown, it involved, of course, Jacques Cousteau, and the granddaughter or the daughter of Colonel Sanders of Kentucky Fried
Wow.
Chicken fame, and
Wow.
all sorts of interesting people. And yet, they're such a tight lid of secrecy. For instance, people that have worked for deep sea, whatever they're doing, um, they have to sign NDAs that they will not say what they see down there.
Yeah.
And it, go go to Dark Journalist's YouTube channel and watch the Hot Zone stuff. It's worth it. It's well worth it because there's some mystery about the original edition of Alice in Wonderland. There's this group, this yacht called the Caroline, and T. Townsend Brown, when he was a young engineer, was brought on board the crew as part of the search for Atlantis. This is back in the 1920s, I think, and they
Yeah.
kept an original edition copy of Alice in Wonderland by Lewis Carroll. Think of his reputation with children. They
Right.
kept that under glass, hermetically sealed. And when Brown asked about that, they said, "Oh, that's in case if the boat goes down, the book is protected." What
Oh
the
wow.
hell? And Lewis Carroll is infamous for having, they suspected he was a pedo.
Yeah.
So, and there's Ghislaine Maxwell right in the middle of all that. She has to know more about
Right. And
Right.
why
don't
this
Terramar
Alice
forget
and
in
all that
Wonderland
stuff.
is.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Terramar.
right, don't forget who her father was.
yeah. Oh,
Right.
well, yeah, and a Mossad agent
Yeah.
extraordinaire.
But I think that was what they were trying to like promote is this mysterious world, and Atlanta is right out here in the Caribbean, and there's undersea civilizations, and we're all adventurers and all this stuff.
Well, that's the image certainly that they had of themselves, but there's really something there. that's being hidden.
Right, right. Well, I agree with that.
So maybe the reason it's being hidden is because it is this dark, awful tradition.
Yeah.
And those
Well,
in the know.
which leads me to my next presentation. This is from the files. You can see the EFTA file on the bottom.
Mhm.
People were speculating, hey, what the heck is this temple? What does it look like? And people talked about like ancient Middle East temples. And then these file drops and confirms everything. And this is it. This is the file EFTA 011888851. And literally, it's to Jeff from this guy designer. And Jeff literally is sending them stuff like, hey, I want it to look like this. You can see it right here, June 11th, 2013. He's like, oh, this is what I want. And the guy says, okay. I was thinking about blocks of rock, horizontal line. I did the arch with the smaller blocks because I saw in some Mamluk architecture pictures, the arch has smaller blocks than the sides of the door. This picture I attached, I draw the blocks of the arch larger.
Oh, wow.
But the attached picture isn't this. It's not this picture. It's something different.
Yeah.
However, this also reflects like some of the pictures of the temple do not have the gold dome on them. There was a golden dome on top of that temple.
Yeah.
This one
Wow.
has that too. Yeah.
Hmm.
So it's Mamluk. Mamluk is like some kind of other Zoroastrian
Yeah, it's interesting.
civilization.
Again, I know this because I dove into it and wrote about it, but when Napoleon went to Egypt, remember he had his really weird esoteric experience in the pyramid, but the Mamelukes were there in Egypt also. Um, so here you have another place associated with mysticism and such, and there's the
Yeah.
Mamelukes. Maybe, William, we should be looking into the Mameluke connection to Epstein and this old tradition.
Well, if there was something called the Mamluk Sultanate, so if he's talking about being the Sultan to Rena O, this validates his own personal mythology, his
Yeah.
own mythos that he's creating.
Huh.
The
Wow,
man
this
of
guy
myths generals overthrew the Abiyu dynasty and established their own powerful empire that ruled from 1250 to 1517.
yeah.
Mamluks are historically renowned for their formidable military successes.
Mhm.
The Mamluk Sultanate was a major patron of art, scholarship, and monumental architecture, transforming Cairo into a vibrant intellectual and cultural center during the Middle Ages.
Wow.
Hmm.
So he's maybe saw himself as a Mamluk Sultanate, like fighting a battle. I don't know. This is from the files, guys. It's right out of the files. It's incredible.
Yeah. Yeah. So was there anything about Satanism in the files?
I don't think so. Nothing overt. I didn't see a lot
Yeah.
of that stuff. I didn't. Maybe somebody else has looked into it, but I didn't see like the obvious stuff. I typed in Crowley into the search function.
Yeah.
All the code words. They didn't really pop up. Apparently, these guys used a lot of different code words. So
Right.
you have to kind of know what code word they're using. Like their parties, they didn't say, let's have an eyes wide shut party, although there is eyes wide shut connections in the files. But
Mhm.
they would say, like, we're having a performance or we're going to hold a play. So
I
to the
see.
outsiders, it'd be like, oh, he's having a play,
Right.
which is an interesting tie into Gil de Rai because he not only was a child killer, but he was a wastrel who wasted his money putting together ornate plays and stuff like that.
Right, right, right.
So it's almost like he had this back front drop, and then he's behind the curtain as a Satanist doing
Yeah.
unspeakable acts with children.
And he
Yeah.
may have been an ancestor of Sir Richard Francis Burton. That's why I talk about him in my Burton book, Gita
Yeah.
Rai. Yeah, because Burton came from a very occult, mystical tradition influenced family background.
Gilles de Rais was also Joan of Arc's right-hand man.
Right. Right.
Well,
It's really incredible. Like you have this witchcraft and then this woman who's celebrated as like a Christian saint and martyr.
he was a right-hand man. He was
Probably
in
not
her,
the right words to use.
yeah, he was in her army. There were
Yeah.
a lot of guys. Of course, anybody who was, against the present monarchy at the time and certain powers would have been on her side. But remember, she got the sword
Right.
from Saint Catherine of Alexandria, and we know that Saint Catherine of Alexandria was bullshit, never existed. Even the church
Right.
admitted this in the 20th century, that she was syncretized
Yeah.
from Hypatia of Alexandria, the daughter of the librarian, and the
Right.
goddess Hecate. And
Right. Right.
so Gita Rai, through understanding the truth, because remember back then people believed St. Catherine of Alexandria was a real saint. He would have understood, if he was into the dark arts, that
Right.
she was actually Hecate, and who was, you know, allegedly communicating with Joan. So
Yeah.
it's all very interesting for
Right.
sure. Guys, we're down to 2 minutes.
Okay. William, you
So
want to plug your stuff?
Yeah, I got a lot of shows on a lot of different stuff. We didn't cover the MCC, we didn't cover some of the other things, but there's a lot in these files that are very revealing, and his network is active, guys. It's
I
still
want
going.
you to come back and more than once to talk about
Right.
this Epstein stuff, because
Right.
this has
Well, we're
been
we're having him
really
back to talk about the Hosanna
interesting.
preschool scandal the first
Okay.
Tuesday of July.
Oh, excellent. But definitely let's do another one on Epstein, because
I
this
can do
is
one on just the deviant art of Epstein. I think it'll
okay.
include the massacre of the innocents and everything.
Yeah,
Okay, let's
that
do
would
It'll
that.
be
blow
really
your mind. It'll blow your mind.
absolutely.
Wait till we get to the gates of hell. He tried to buy Rodin's Gates of Hell, a 12-foot, 14-foot story, all black, Negro as in alchemy depiction of the gates of hell. Like literally this
wow.
impressive statuary
Wow, this guy.
Yeah.
thing from Rodin, like one of the greatest, if not the greatest sculptor who did the Thinker of all time in
Oh
modern
my
history.
God.
William,
So where can we find you?
Yeah.
William Ramsey Investigates. Check it out. 5 books, podcast on tons of Epstein stuff. I've had you guys on. All your
Yeah.
shows are over there too, Todd and
Mhm.
Walter. But thanks for having me back. It's great to be with you, and it went
Yeah.
super fast. Like there's a lot to
Yeah.
talk about.
Yeah, we've been
We're
doing
gonna
this
we're
every
definitely
day.
gonna have you back on to talk more about this subject.
Yes.
Anytime.
Absolutely.
And I'd also like to plug the Killafornia Patreon page. That's patreon.com/C/Killafornia. Check it out. There's a bunch of new content there. Enjoy.